This is something astonishing and new in astronomy. A hidden giant planet found clinging to a dead white dwarf, its host obviously, offers a glimpse into the solar system's future. Sputnik reports a white dwarf is the burnt-out core of a star similar to our sun, for example, that has eventually ran out of fuel. It swelled up into a red giant, only to lose about half of its mass in the subsequent phase of its life before shrinking to a dead remnant of its former glory. That's the white dwarf. The first indirect evidence of a giant planet orbiting a dead white dwarf star was found by a team of astronomers from the University of Warwick, that's in the UK, University of Warwick's Department of Physics, and the Millennium Nucleus for Planet Formation, NFP, at the University of Valparaiso. And according to the results of their study, it was published in journal Nature magazine, the evidence is in the form of a comet-like tail of gas formed by the evaporating atmosphere of that planet, thought to be over 4 times the size of Earth-sized white dwarf. The Neptune-like planet orbits a star about once every 10 days, and it leaves in its wake a plume of gas comprised of hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur. Up to now, there's never been any evidence of a planet that has been able to survive its star's transition into a white dwarf. So this could be another glimpse into the future of our solar system. The star WDJ 0914 plus 1914, I'll call it WDJ for short, was identified in a survey of 10,000 white dwarfs observed by the Sloan Digital Sky Survey. They used very large telescopes of the European Southern Observatory in Chile. They zoomed in on the star, and scientists found that the shape of its hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur features were typical indicators of a ring of gas. The lead author was Dr. Boris Geinsick of the University of Warwick, and he was quoted by SciTech Daily as saying this: "Such a system has never been seen before, and it was immediately clear to me that this was a unique star." Unquote. Analyzing the data, the team measured the composition of the disk, concluding that it matches what scientists anticipate for the deeper layers of our own solar system's ice giants, that is, Uranus and Neptune. Another member of the team, Dr. Matthias Schreiber, University of Valparaiso, demonstrated through a set of calculations that the 28,000 degrees Celsius hot white dwarf is slowly evaporating this hidden icy giant, bombarding it with high-energy protons, pulling its lost mass into a gas disk around the star. According to Dr. Schreiber, the WDJ offers a glimpse into our very distant future, what could happen to our own solar system. Dr. Jancic claimed that discovery marked major process, and this is what he explained. Over the past 2 decades, we had growing evidence that planetary systems survive into the white dwarf stage. We've seen a lot of asteroids, comets, and other small planetary objects hitting white dwarfs. Having evidence for an actual planet that itself was scattered in is an important step. Now, the discovery is potentially groundbreaking. It suggests that there could be many more planets around stars like this, white dwarfs, waiting to be discovered, even detected using the transit method. Once the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope in Chile will be able to operate, it will be coming up in operation in 2020. The white dwarf observed in the study in its heyday used to be a star similar to our sun, but eventually ran out of fuel. After swelling up to a red giant, a few hundred times the size of the sun, can you imagine our sun swelling up to 100 times the size? It subsequently lost about half its mass, with the remainder shrinking dramatically, ending up the size of the Earth. The white dwarf is essentially a burnt-out core of the former sun. Now, once our own sun burns out in they estimate about 4.5 billion years, it will shed its outer layers, it will destroy Mercury, Venus, and of course probably Earth, and eventually exposing its burnt-out core, the white dwarf. In a companion paper led by Dr. Schreiber and Dr. Gancic, published in Astrophysical Journal Letters, the scientists offer accounts of how this will radiate enough high-energy protons to evaporate even Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So there goes our whole solar system. Just as on WDJ, some of that atmospheric gas will end up on the white dwarf left behind by the sun, will be observed for future generations of alien astronomers, assuming they will be around to do so. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.